Representative James Comer, the head of the House Oversight Committee, provided an update on his investigation into Hunter Biden's business dealings during a press conference on Wednesday. While the evidence so far does not specifically accuse President Biden, it does imply that his son may have benefited from his father's notoriety. The activities of Hunter Biden are documented, and they coincide with other president's family members' international business dealings. Even after handing over leadership of the business to his two sons, Donald Trump Jr. and Eric Trump, the former President Trump maintained ties to the Trump Organization while in office. Even though Trump's team promised that the company wouldn't enter any new international agreements while he was president, his relatives kept doing business abroad. Ivanka Trump and her husband Jared Kushner persisted in pursuing business ventures abroad during this time. When questioned on Wednesday about whether he was also looking into Trump and his family's foreign business dealings, Comer responded, "We're going to look at everything. I assume the son-in-law of the former President Trump had some business dealings. I won't say whether or not I approved of what he did, but I am aware of his businesses." What companies does Biden own? The following information about the potential conflicts of interest raised by the Trump family members' international business dealings and how they compare to what is known about Hunter Biden's endeavors is provided. Donald Trump declared he would hand over control of his real estate company, the Trump Organization, to others, primarily his sons Donald Jr. and Eric, after defeating Hillary Clinton in the 2016 presidential election. Democrats and ethics watchdogs expressed outrage and scrutiny over Trump's continued ties to the Trump Organization throughout his 4 years in office, claiming he was in violation of the Constitution's Emoluments Clause, which forbids a president from improperly profiting from his business while in office. Trump Jr. visited Asia to promote the initiatives of the Trump Organization while his father was president. He toyed with giving a policy speech while on a business trip to India in 2018, appearing alongside Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, but ultimately decided against it after hearing criticisms from his father about how his family's international business dealings might influence his foreign policy stance. Despite accusations of conflicts of interest, Trump Jr. defended his continued involvement in the family business during a trip to Indonesia in 2019 to promote two upcoming Trump-branded luxury resorts. His business partner Harry Tenosidibjo's conglomerate had announced a year earlier that it would be constructing a theme park with $500 million from a branch of the Chinese government. The president of an Indonesian political party, Tenosidibjo, claimed that the Trump resorts were unrelated and unsupported by Chinese money. Donald Trump Jr. generated controversy even before his father was elected president because of his participation in a notorious meeting with a Russian lawyer in Trump Tower, which Donald Trump later acknowledged was meant to help the campaign gather information on Hillary Clinton. It is unlawful for campaigns to accept assistance from foreign governments or citizens. The meeting was later the subject of an investigation by special counsel Robert Mueller, who concluded in his investigation report that the government would unlikely be able to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the June 9 meeting participants had general knowledge that their conduct was unlawful. Eric Donald. While his father was in office, Eric Trump worked alongside his brother as an executive for the Trump Organization, and the two occasionally went to political and official events together. 2019 saw a flurry of allegations surrounding Hunter Biden, and Eric Trump claimed his family got out of all international business. But that wasn't accurate. He tweeted in celebration of a new phase of development at a Trump property in Scotland that same year. Trump Ivanka. During her father's presidency, Ivanka Trump worked as a presidential advisor and had a West Wing office. She shut down her clothing line in 2018, but she kept running it for a year and a half while she was in the White House. The business relied on an international labor force, with production taking place in nations like China and Indonesia. That choice was made after she obtained several trademarks for Chinese companies at the same time that her father allegedly worked to defend jobs at a Chinese telecommunications firm. In 2018, experts told the New York Times that the timing did not seem out of the ordinary, but they also speculated that she might have benefited from her fame in the process. Jared Kushner, like his wife Ivanka, was a key advisor to Donald Trump while he was president. Trump's son-in-law actively participated in the administration's Middle East foreign policy, forming a friendship with Saudi Arabia's crown prince and attempting to mediate a settlement. But during this time, Kushner also took part in business transactions there. One of Israel's largest financial institutions, Menorah Miftichim, gave his family's real estate business $30 million in 2017. It was merely one of the business transactions the company completed with local contacts. The same year, Kushner's sister traveled to Beijing to solicit Chinese investors for her family's New Jersey building by promoting special investment visas. The real estate firm owned by Kushner's family agreed to let Brookfield Asset Management pay the rent on a Manhattan skyscraper for 99 years starting the following summer. The Qatar Investment Authority contributed to Brookfield's investment portfolio. The business claimed that before the deal became public, Qatar was unaware of it. The Kushner family had previously tried to negotiate a deal with a Chinese company for the building. After Trump became president, Kushner's business in the Middle East continued. Kushner's private equity firm received $2 billion from a fund run by the Saudi Crown Prince shortly after he left the White House, as well as hundreds of millions of dollars from funds in the United Arab Emirates and Qatar. Kushner's other partially owned company also received money from Saudi Arabia. The agreements have come under fire for, at the very least, giving the impression that Kushner might be receiving compensation for the work he did while serving as president. Kushner's pre-election meetings with Russian contacts attracted scrutiny, just like those of Donald Trump Jr. During and after the 2016 presidential campaign, Kushner spoke with the Russian ambassador numerous times, in addition to taking part in the meeting with Trump Jr. at Trump Tower in 2016. Hunter Biden, son of President Joe Biden, has experience as a lawyer, investor, and lobbyist. Now that Republicans are in control of the House, his business connections and past drug use will likely be the subject of committee investigations and appearances on cable news. Hunter Biden made multi-million-dollar deals with a Chinese company while serving on the board of the Ukrainian natural gas company Burisma Holdings from 2014 to 2019. There is no publicly available evidence connecting Joe Biden and Hunter Biden's business dealings. There is no evidence that Joe Biden's decisions as vice president or president were influenced by Hunter Biden's business dealings with Chinese and Ukrainian firms, despite the impression that Hunter Biden was making a lot of money off the status of being his father's son. Additionally, there is no concrete proof that any funds from Hunter Biden's business ventures ever found their way into Joe Biden's accounts. Republicans in the House have pledged to issue more subpoenas to gather more evidence for their investigation.